Welcome back to the Nordic Championship, coming to you live from the Monster Energy DreamHack studio. Today we have NYYRIKKI White versus the Final Tribe being our first game, and to guide us through this awesome matchup is of course me and Henning back again.
We are indeed, and it is probably the best day of the week right now. No, it's not because it's Friday. Okay, it's because it's Friday, but it's also because we've got the Nordic Championship here. Third day of the week these guys are playing, so they have been getting into this really well. They've been playing a lot of games, and these two teams, they've been doing pretty well so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Having a look at the standings, these two teams have definitely shown up, together with Ventus Esports up in the top and placeholder 1, 2, 3. The Final Tribe is in third place right now, just followed by NYYRIKKI White with 2-1. Assistance FK is next up, Celestial Gaming, Fortress, Nordawind, and Riptide down at the bottom 4, and still fighting it out to get up to that top spot.
Yeah, so we're going to be seeing two of the three top teams so far here with Finland versus Sweden. And when it comes to the standings, I'm kind of surprised at how well Finland are doing. NYYRIKKI White and Placeholder both in the top 4, and they are really impressing me so far. We talked about it yesterday. Finland, not traditionally the strongest country in the Nordic region, but they've been putting on a show.
Absolutely. They've been holding back on us for the longest time. We haven't seen Finland perform at this level. So I'm really happy to see this NYYRIKKI White in fourth place and placeholder 1, 2, 3 in the second, as they have been playing consistently well throughout this first week, although we have a lot of games coming up next week as well.
Yeah, there is of course a lot of games still to be played. We're not even halfway through the regular part of the season, and then we've got the semifinals and the finals here in Stockholm to round out this amazing tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of things can happen, starting with this. It's Finland versus Sweden. NYYRIKKI White versus the Final Tribe. And we're going to start off with this game, followed up by Riptide, the Icelandic team, versus Fortress from Denmark. So look forward to that. But right now, NYYRIKKI White and the Final Tribe, they're neck to neck almost. NYYRIKKI White having played one less game than the Final Tribe in this tournament, but so far they only have one loss each.
Yeah, and we've seen them both play on stream earlier. NYYRIKKI White putting on a good showing in the first day, while the Final Tribe were able to take the series versus Östersund 2-0 with some pretty impressive performances. Got to give a big shout out to Kantos in that bottom lane, who was my MVP for the whole of yesterday there for the Final Tribe. I think he did a really good job, and you're going to be looking out for the bottom lane of TFT.
Absolutely. And these bottom lanes have been consistently doing what they are supposed to do. They're getting the farm, they're handling the waves and pushing down the turrets. That is their job. And I want to talk a little bit more about these mid laners, Jamaru versus Dincel, because Jamaru is the player that we constantly hear about from Finland. He is that mid laner they call the Finnish faker. And today he's playing versus Dincel from Sweden. And Dincel has been playing champions like Zillion. He's been playing like Malzahar, champions that aren't maybe the most difficult champions when it comes to mechanical skill, and I've been expecting to see Jamaru go on these heavy mechanical champions so far, but yet we have seen him on, I believe it's the Oriana, and one more game. I don't think if it was the Syndra or was it the Lissandra? I can't quite remember.
Yeah, he's been playing the control mages, and I think it's nice that you bring up the mid lane because this is probably the big mismatch in this matchup, in my opinion, because we've got Jamaru, who's been praised as the big star of the team, as the strongest mechanical player. He's not really showed it so far. I mean, he hasn't messed up, but he hasn't done anything amazing that we've been seeing. On the other hand, for TFT, Denzel has not been putting on too much of a show in the mid lane. I mean, he's been playing these very non-mechanical champions in Cillian and Malzahar, just clearing the waves and then pressing R, and he's been doing quite a good job of it. But I think if he gets into a skill matchup up against Jamaru, he could have a hard time. Also got to say that they were joking around a bit in the lobby here, saying that Denzel saying that he's going to be picking Lulu this game after he's been playing Cillian and Malzahar. So we'll see if it was joking or if it was actually serious.
It could happen. It could absolutely happen with Kantos and Nightmare in the bot lane you talked about being one of the strong points of the Final Tribe. So that is definitely something that he could opt to go for if they want to go with a complete composition around Kantos, although I don't think that is going to happen. We are running into Champion Select right now. We'll have a look and see what happens as these two giants will duke it out on the Summoner's Rift. The first ban for NYYRIKKI White is the Lissandra, and the Final Tribe are going to ban the Ivern versus Kenapil.
Yeah, that is interesting, seeing a very targeted ban towards Canapeel, who did play Ivan earlier on in the tournament, so really wanting to get that off the table as soon as possible. Not the strongest jungler at the moment, but he's definitely been going back and showing that he has some really good jungle matchup, in particular against this Karthus, which is banned away right there.
Absolutely. So Carter's is gone, and same goes for Jace, as both Vazor and Steenbuster have been playing this particular champion, although I think Steenbuster has been slightly stronger on him than Vazor, although Vazor had quite of a bad game, the one we saw him play the Jace, so maybe that can't really tell that much about him as a player, but Jace will be taken off the table for this game.
Yeah, for sure. Looking for some AD carries now. I was just going to mention the Lucian there. I think it is interesting to ban it when you've got the first pick. So don't have to ban the Lucian. Maybe shows that they want to go for something like an Ezreal instead, which is the real strong AD carry that is still open. But that also takes you into kind of this scaling and poking direction rather than an aggressive game plan, which you can go with something like a Draven if you want to go in that direction. So look for the Ezreal to be contested here.
Absolutely, and the Thresh is a champion we've seen first pick a lot of times, a very versatile champion that is a sort of a jack of all trades, works in most team compositions, and the Sejuani for Raxi, a champion that he's been showing up on in this tournament, although Sejuani usually would never be called a playmaker, but Raxi actually making her look really good in the previous games.
Yeah, you don't always talk about mechanical outplays on a Sejuani, but he did just that in the games versus OFK. Had a probably game-deciding Sejuani Q interrupting the LeBlanc W, so impressive performance there onto that champion. When it comes to going for these sort of top laners that we're looking for, I think Sion is the big one that is still open, although I often come back to him, but I think the Sylas is also a strong pick here for NYRIKKI, being able to steal two very impactful ultimates as the Sejuani and Sivir are locked in.
Absolutely, and Stenbose is a very mechanical play, could definitely make that one work. I also like to see the Sivir into the hands of Kantos, as Kantos, you talked about earlier, is the kind of player that can take the game into his own hands and really run away, being the main carry, and the usual response to this bot lane, when you don't have the Sivir, of course, you want to decide you want to go for the Ezreal, Illusion is off the table, and this is what happens.
Yeah, so gonna be providing, the Thresh provides a lot of lane presence there for the Ezreal, so he's not the strongest laning AD carry, but he gets a lot of safety early on in the lane thanks to that Thresh. So looking for maybe the Sion here if you want to secure that tank early on for Stianvosa. Can of course be flexed as well, but it's gonna be the Lee Sin for an aggressive jungle matchup, and with the Lee Sin versus the Sejuani, I think putting some priority on pushing and winning lanes to allow Canapil to make the plays should be the strategy that NYRIKKI wants to go for.
Yeah, absolutely. Canapil being a jungler that likes to invade a lot, being very aggressive on this Lee Sin, definitely if he have the matching lanes, he can absolutely make that work. Although Raxi is the kind of Sejuani player that I feel is very comfortable playing against this, knowing what will happen, playing very smart around the map. So I'm not sure if Canapil will find as much success with this as he would hope to. So here's the Morgana being the final pick for Final Tribe in the first rotation. ZZOE has been banned together with the Malzahar versus Dincel.
This is not going to be an easy Lee Sin game because you're up against both the Morgana and the Sivir, who, with the Spell Shield and the Black Shield, can deny those kick engages if that's what you want to go for. Also not the champion where you really want to be playing up against a big front line like the Sejuani here, so I'm interested to see what Canapil is going to be doing. Of course, with the Lee Sin and the Thresh, you have so much playmaking potential, two of the biggest playmakers in the game, but on the other hand, there are some of the biggest playmaking deniers for TFT.
Yeah, absolutely. So Final Tribe has been picking some smart champions into this composition, of course, with the Kled now banned together with the LeBlanc, is something that they also don't want to play against in the hands of Jamera, as we talked about being a very skilled mid laner.
Yeah, looking forward to the mid lane matchup here, to be seeing if they want to go for the Denzel pick here. Just give him a safe champion that can clear away the wave, and that's exactly what they're
Yeah,
going to be doing.
absolutely. No surprise here.
Yeah, for sure. Safe, not really that mechanically intensive. And then be able to play around the top lane, because right now they have a very safe bottom lane with a lot of wave clear. They have a very safe mid laner with a lot of wave clear. So I think if you're able to get waves in a winning top lane matchup and then get a lot of priority onto that lane, that could be a winning strategy for TFT.
Absolutely. I want to mention that the Rice is still in. You can still go for him and put him in a side lane in this game. The Sion that you call being one of the most played champions in this tournament's top lane so far is going to be going to the hands of Busse for this game. So Final Tribe will save that pick for the last. And finally, Yameru might be going with the Oriana once more.
Yeah, interested to see what it's going to go with here. The Orianna would not be the big outplayer here, but on the other hand, it's kind of hard to outplay that Cillian ultimate, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's really difficult, and I think going with the Oriana all depends on the rest of the team composition here. With going with a Lee Sin, going with a Thresh, with a Sign, you have many ways to both peel for you and have help to place the ball for the Shockwave.
I'm so interested to see what Wacer's going to be going for here. If you want sort of an AP champion, there's the Victor and the Vladimir that can play the Klepto, really get a lot of gold stacking up against the Sign and scale up. Or if you want to go for a more... Ooh, that's the melee AP choice in the Sylas. This is going to be interesting.
Well, I'm happy to see Silas being played more in this tournament, as we talk so much about him, but we only get to see him once, I believe, and it worked kind of well, but didn't really have that much of an impact in that game. Looking at Vaser versus Busse, I think is going to be a very aggressive top lane, as I think both of these players are the type of top laners that really want to run away with it. We've seen both of these players get the solo kills, we've seen both of them match, we've seen both of them get good roams, and I'm expecting to see a lot of action for this game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think these teams are going to be picking some specific lanes to put the pressure in. Look for Axie to go towards the top lane because you've got the melee top laner that can stack that E for the Sejuani with the gap closer as well, so you can put a lot of pressure onto the Sion while you have this safe scaling other lanes. And on the other hand, Canapil have so much playmaking potential around the bottom lane with a Thresh and Lee Sin, two of the biggest playmakers in the game, as well as the Orianna potentially having pressure if we are making the correct read that Yamaru is the stronger individual mid laner compared to Denzel.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is like also a little bit of a question mark right there because we hear so much about Jamero, but so far in this tournament, he's been playing these control mages. We haven't really seen any individual huge outplays. I think we've seen him get one solo kill in a match where they were playing versus Riptide. They were already quite far ahead. So it's difficult to like measure any skill level out of that. So I'm looking forward to see more of Jameru. It's interesting to see his Orianna, but, well, we'll see what happens in this best of 3 series. I want to see more Jameru. I want to see what all this hype is about.
Yeah, you're making a good point. I probably shouldn't be hyping him up because, like, when we haven't really seen him make any sort of like particularly good plays. I mean, he's been playing pretty solid, but he hasn't been doing like putting on
Yeah, exactly.
any
He's
sort of
very
specific
consistent.
things.
He's very solid.
Yeah, but still going to be interesting to see up against the Cillian in the mid lane. Probably going to be a lot of wave clearing. Just both these champions can pretty much one-shot the wave. But when you've got a lot of wave control from both champions, it becomes about the priority. Who can push in earlier, and then who has the priority to be able to go into the river and be quicker on those roams. Because if you can get into a side lane or a river fight a couple of seconds earlier, that can completely decide the entire engagement.
Absolutely, and both of these teams have been good with the team fights, having the synergy together, although I would argue that NYYRIKKI have been slightly better than the Final Tribe. We've seen Final Tribe make like some individual misplays. We see someone kind of just walking and getting caught by a hook or something in a little bit of weird situations. But in general, I expect both of these teams to put up a good amount of team fights. And speaking about that, looking at these team compositions, what are their plan? What do they want to do?
We do have a lot of team fighting prowess on both of these sides. I would say that the Final Tribe has a stronger scaling composition, both with the Sivir being able to put down the huge damage and the Cillian for the ultimate, but also the Sylas that's going to be outscaling this Sion in the 1 versus 1 lane eventually if they're going to go off to the side lane and have the other team fighting. So I think TFT are fine with just scaling while Canapil and Tiara on this Lee Sin Thresh combo. They're going to be looking to put on a lot of pressure early, and I'm interested to see where they are going to be going because what I think about immediately is to play around the bottom lane and the dragons, but on the other hand, as I said, that Black Shield and the Spell Shield from the Sivir Morgana combo can really deny the Lee Sin Thresh engage.
Absolutely. We're also going to mention that we have a little pause in the game, so we're waiting for that to settle before we're going in-game, and meanwhile, you'll have to just listen to us ranting on about what possibly will happen before we can get in-game and find out. So, the Sejuani into the Lee Sin. Matchup is also something we talked a little bit about. You said that the Lee Sin will work very well if he have the pushing lanes, if you have the lane priority in mid lane and the top lane. Does he have that for this game?
He doesn't actually have a pushing bottom lane this time around with the SWE Thresh. Gonna be generally, if everything goes according to plan, get pushed in by the Morgana and the Sivir. With Thresh lanes, you can usually say, well, at least if it lands the hooks, they have the potential to go all in, but versus the Morgana Black Shield, not really. So I'm not going to be having too much pushing prowess in the bottom lane. If he can roam together with the Thresh, so that's really where he can make the play. So I don't want to be seeing Canapil going for these sort of crazy invades on his own, just running into the enemy jungle randomly. I want to see him roaming together with Tiara. So Esfil is a very safe champion, can stay bottom lane to farm it out. Not too much kill pressure from the Morgana Sivir. Can free up Tiara to roam, and then he's been showing up some really good plays so far for NYRIKKI. So with a Thresh Lee Sin combination, there's a lot of things you can do.
Absolutely, and both of these bot laners have decided to go with the teleport as well, so looking to farm for a long time, not really looking to skirmish, as the heal is usually the better summoner spell when you want to fight it out in the lane.
Yeah, this is going to be giving a lot of opportunities to see interesting split pushing scenarios and even backdoors later on, because we've got triple teleport on both teams for mid AD carry and top lane. And as you say, you usually want to go with the heal if you're looking for those early engagements where that is going to be the stronger summoner spell. Taking some poke back and forth and then being able to recall and then get a free back with a teleport is going to be a good usage of that summoner spell though. And this is not something we've been seeing a lot. A 5-man invade for TFT. Can they do something onto Acidor?
Yeah, Acidor's going to be found out in this bush. He spots it, but he's caught by the Dark Binding, and I think this should be the quick pick up. He is so low, the bomb is ticking, and that's the first blood for Denzel. So a sneaky start here. It's going to mean, though, that Vaser started with his E, so he's going to have a little bit less pushing power in the lane, but Denzel is going to be very happy with this pickup and this start.
Yeah, that is very big for him being able to get... Oh, he actually bought another Doran's Ring, then sold it, and got a Dark Seal and another potion, so that's going to be the more snowballing choice for Denzel here in this mid lane. And yeah, he's going to be having such a good time when it just comes to pushing these waves, because he's got the minion dematerializer, which means that a double bomb is pretty early on into the game going to just be killing off the wave. Seeing both junglers starting on the bottom side of the map, and this is going to be a fully charged queue. I think we've seen this before.
Yeah, we have seen this before. Stenbosa loves to hide in that bush. Get a little bit of harass off on level 1. And people keep running into it, and they don't want to run around it and get a slower start. Down for the bot lane, the Morgana started with the Dark Binding for this game, but with the Sivir you have a lot of pushing power.
Yeah, Morgana starting with the Dark Binding and Silas starting with that Abscond, so not the optimal choice for probably either one of them, unless you're just going to be landing the max range hooks.
Yeah, absolutely. A good Dark Binding there is going to catch Tiara a little bit. We talked about this earlier being a very safe lane for Morgana and Sivir. There aren't many ways a hook can land through both the Black Shield and the Spell Shield from Sivir, so this should be fairly safe. Also level 2 advantage to the Sivir. Oh, Spell Shield use, not going to hit anything. Dark Binding, same goes for that. The Spell Shield, I wouldn't say wasted, but wanted to get that little extra mana from the Mystic Shot.
So Canapil with the jungler route he's been taking on this Lee Sin has been going to clear his entire bottom side. So wondering what he's going to be doing when he ends up hitting level 3 after this. Is he going to be looking for something in the mid lane? Could potentially at least burn a flash there with all the burst damage that you have with a level 3 Lee Sin, and Denzel is pushing the wave into the enemy tower, but he's just going to be going towards his top side, going for the farming route so far, and Rex is very happy with this, with having both junglers just farming, and he secured 1 crab. Is he going to be taking double crabs against the Lee Sin?
Rex is trying, he's going to be hit by the Seismic Wave, Sonic Wave. Still on the Rift Scuttler. Going to challenge this. Top priorities might going down, and now it's a little bit of a trouble for Canapil. Good flash over the wall. Will be saved by the Decimating Smash, turning it around now onto Vaser. Vaser getting dangerously low, but not enough damage here by Stenbosa. That means Vaser gonna pick up that kill, turning it around now on Yomeru from the mid lane, just arriving in time to get killed by the rest of the team that was already there. Sonic Wave is going to connect, but Canapil not going to jump in.
Wow, the heals from this Silas when you get that low Kingslayer provides you with such an insane amount of healing with that W, so really being able to sustain through that fight, and it was a very good Q there from Stiambose, was able to get a very heavily charged Q onto two people as they were flashing over the wall, but still in the end, top lane priority was there from the final tribe, and they were able to just be stronger with that Silas and with all of the healing that he provides.
Absolutely, showing off Silas's strengths here. As he's fighting with that heal you mentioned, the Kingslayer is very strong, the lower on HP that he is. See another fight up here, Stiambose still wants to fight this out. Not going to hit anything with the Q there.
And you can
still
see,
fighting it out.
Yeah, you can see here that this has been the focus for the final tribe in the entirety of the draft phase. So much was just about getting a winning matchup for Wazer where he can have the pressure in the top side, and he's been getting 2 kills and 1 assist so far. We're not even 5 minutes in and he's got a 450 gold bounty, a 400 gold lead in this matchup. So both the draft and the early game working out really well for TFT when it comes to giving Wazer that advantage in the 1v1 against Stiambose.
Absolutely, and Wazer now with a huge advantage. Going to force the flash on Stiambose. Raxi has arrived, noticing that there was a lot of fighting up top lane. Down bot lane, there was a ward placed by Kantos inside the jungle. So knowing that Canapeel might be eyeing them as they are pushing up this lane. They will be looking for this. You can see that Tiara is still getting into good positioning, trying to force them away from these minions.
There was some pretty good vision there for TFT in the enemy jungle, so they are able to push this up quite heavily. They did spot Canapeel there running next to a vision ward, so Denzel knows what is up, knows what side of the lane that he can hug here in order to stay safe. Canapeel is going to be stealing away a wolf camp, but I don't think that Raxon is too sad about that because he's got an EXP lead. They're actually going to go for the collapse here.
Canapeel has been spotted. Denzel, though, has been maybe bitten off more than he can chew. Taking some damage as Canapeel will just back off, being happy getting the big wolf before backing out. Acetor down bot lane is going to get some harassment off on Kantos, but Kantos being very consistently playing well down here in the bot lane on his Sivir. It's very even in last hits. No vision here on Canapeel, so he's going to stick around and keep stealing this farm as Rax is still on the top side of the jungle.
Yeah, he is farming himself, though, gonna get that Scuttle Crab, so he's just getting towards that level 6 on this Sejuani, almost like about half a level ahead right now in the jungle matchup, so something that he can definitely be happy with. And you can see both of these junglers are kind of choosing which lanes to play around, with the bottom lane being the focus for NYRIKKI and the top lane being the focus for the final tribe. And just walking into the enemy jungle like this, just like Canapeel did in the bottom side and Raxa did in the top side, even if you don't steal away a camp, you give your side of the map, like the laners there, so much safety because you scout it out, okay, there is no jungler here, and you know when the camp is going to be respawning, so you know when the jungler is going to be making his way back there.
Absolutely, and Canapeel now, as he showed himself, around the bot side of the map. Gonna mean Kantos is gonna back off, and Nightmare is just sticking around a little bit longer. Waiting now for the teleport, as Kantos will arrive soon with this. Nightmare is going to try to block this recall, and it's not gonna work with the Lantern on for some reason. I do not know why that didn't work, but that was a strange interaction and a pickup solo kill by Tiara.
Wow, that was an insane turn of events there, as it actually goes for the recall, which is just weird when you can turn around and throw down one auto attack to get the kill or at least an assist there, but still very much an overcommitment for Nightmares, who had the black shield on cooldown in that engagement. So just got hooked and flayed under the tower. 2 tower shots, a couple of autos, and ignite is all you need to kill the Morgana, and it's straight, like that's what you call a support versus support outplay right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Nightmare got completely outplayed in that situation. I'm still like looking back at this replay and looking at Acetor just getting away with the standing on top of the tormented soil. So I'm not sure about that interaction. Never seen that before, to be honest.
Yeah, gets a very good recall here though for both Tier and Sheen. This is really the dream recall for the Ezreal because you get both the scaling from the Tier and the power right now in that Sheen. So gonna be able to try to contest this, but still, Sivir and Morgana, they push the waves so well. And with a slight advantage that TFT has in the jungle matchup, Sejuani is gonna be able to start up this dragon, and that is gonna be a mountain going over to them.
And that's the Mountain Dragon. It's going to be a good little pickup for them. About 9 minutes into the game, Jamero in the mid lane with some good farm. Although Cell has the farm lead so far with 1 kill as well from that early invade. Another attempted fight down the bot lane is not going to turn out well for Tiara as he pushes up when the rest of the team were already there, expecting them to back off after taking the dragon. It's not a good position to be in, so he thought he caught Kantos, but he was baited.
Missed the flash over the wall. They're really not a mistake that you want to make, flashing just next to that wall and then getting caught out by the Sivir ultimate, which allows you to collapse in such a quick way. Canapil going for a play here, perhaps?
Nice.
Oh, get denied!
Yeah, showing how you outplay the Lee Sin with the Dark Shield. That's how you do it, and that is a play I think Canapil is going to regret. I'm not sure why he tried to go that aggressive, as you pick the Morgana with the Black Shield because you know that you can avoid that play. So that's a flash and an ultimate and going down for nothing for Canapil.
Well, that's a turn of events that Canapil is going to be, like, if he watches this replay, he's just going to be cringing so hard when he sees himself jump in for that play. That's an aggressive arcane shift from Asador.
That's also a jump in coming in. Asador going very aggressive with this flash forward now. Bot lane, Kantos picking that one up, still taking heavy damage from these minions. One more auto attack is going to finish the job, so Kantos will die, still getting that kill on him, and Asador dying, gonna allow TR to pick up his 2nd kill for the game.
That was really weird with Night Prince actually being able to survive using both the stopwatch and the heal, but in the end, kills go over to Tiara for the side of NYRIKKI and Kantos for the side of TFT. So 2 kills for the AD carry on one team and the other team has 2 kills on the support. So really gotta say that favors TFT with the Essence Reaver already completed on this Sivir.
Yeah, absolutely. Top lane though also looking very even in this matchup as Vaser has gotten the 2 kills, but still very even in the lost hits. A few lost hits ahead. Still going to be very happy with this on his Silas. Talked about it earlier, stealing these ultimates, has already stolen Stenboss's once to just to get back to the lane. And now it's going to recall, has the teleport, will be able to get back with this if he wants to, or you're simply gonna run back.
I don't think there are any ultimates that are really super strong to steal here with the Silas. I think the Unstoppable Onslaught and the Two-Shot Barrage would be the 2 big ones, but none of them are really that impactful compared to his own teams, which has some insanely impactful ultimates like Chrono Shift on the Hunt and the Glacial Prison. So really, like, the Silas would have better opportunities to steal the ulti if it was on the other team. Still gonna be providing some strong pressure here up against Stiambosa in the 1v1, and I think as this matchup goes later, it's going to be pretty hard for Stiambosa to keep up in the 1v1 split push.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just wondering what happens if he steals the Orianna Shockwave. What happens then?
I think he just does the Shockwave on top of himself. Oh, speaking of shockwaves.
Yeah, speaking of shockwaves, let's see what will happen here. Jamero around and uses shockwave. Will he be able to get away though? No, the bomb is on top of him. Nowhere to run. No shields are going to save him. And the chrono break will keep Denzel alive even throughout all of that damage. You see Canapil just wanting to go back again, just a little bit, hitting that Sonic Wave. Not going to go for it though. 1 versus 3. Up top lane, Stiambosa versus Vaser. See, these 2 players like to fight it out, although both are tanky enough to not really do that much while fighting, to be honest.
Yeah, in the extended 1v1, Vaser's going to be winning out with the sustain that he has both from the W and from the Grasp of the Undying, which is his keystone. On the other hand, Stiambosa is, of course, very tanky and has some sustain of his own as well as a shield, so in a very extended 1v1, Vaser's going to be winning out, but when it just comes to the straight matchup, not too much is going to be happening at this point in the game.
So Tiara has just disconnected. Is going to reconnect. We're waiting for a little bit of update on that, as we don't know yet why he needed to reconnect. Probably some ping issues
Could be.
or something similar, so we'll be waiting for him to get back again. But so far, an interesting game, fairly even, but a slight lead to the final tribe.
Yeah, looking at the goal, they are about, okay, I'm not going to do math on stream, 1.8k ahead? Something like that?
Yes, that is correct. Congratulations.
Thank you. I was always really good at math. Actually, if we're looking at where the gold is, all that gold it is in the solo lane. So Denzel is 1,000 gold up compared to Yamaru with 2 kills and 2 assists. He's been having a really good game on this Cillian. Once again, I'm starting to sound like a broken record, but it's not because he's been doing these mechanical outplays. He's just been in the right spot at the right time, done what he's supposed to. I think Denzel is really like the backbone of a team. He's never someone who's going to make the insane outplay, but he just does what he should be doing.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
really
But
refreshing to see.
I really like to see this in a player. Like, of course, he doesn't do anything that you can talk that much about, but he always does something in any situation. He always finds like a little edge that he can use, and I enjoy to see that. So Denzel has been impressing me so far on these champions, on the Cillian, on the Malzahar, so I'm happy to see it. Jamero, on the other hand, not as happy, has died twice already in this game. There goes the Rift Herald as Raxi and Denzel are using this opportunity to take that objective. Up in the top lane, Stianbosa tries to fight it out under his turret. Turret plating is about to go down. And we'll see not that many plays have fallen in the bot lane or mid lane, but in the top lane, Vaesor has been using the advantage he has gotten to push down 3 of these platings, so that is quite a bit of extra gold that he has been able to bag.
And the Mountain Dragon does so much because of how early they were able to pick it up. That's the big reason that they've been able to get down some of these tower platings, because the TP's actually coming in, but it's going to be the Ezreal that's getting back to lane. So speaking a bit more about the Mountain Dragon, it gives you pre-mitigation damage on the towers. The towers gets really tanky while the plating is still there, but Mountain Dragon doesn't care about that extra tankiness from the plate, so that is why Waster's been able to get almost 4 plates in the top lane, not quite, just 3 of them, but still a substantial gold lead over to him and the final tribe.
Absolutely. Now, teleportation difference in bot lane. Cantus is holding on to his. He's gone for the Essence Reaver as his first item. A-Star in the mid lane. Can see Vaesor arriving as well. Wanted to go for Jameru another time. That's the 3rd time this game Jameru has been ganked. There's so much focus on NYRIKKI's mid laner, and this, I think, is like the big reason we talk so much about Jameru being that main player. The same thing is known for the final tribe. They know Jameru is such a key player for his team, putting all of this effort to shut him down.
Yeah, you really need to be so careful, because with the Rift Herald, with the Mountain Dragon, this is going to be 2 mid lane towers going down by 15 minutes. When you got a comp that even scales really well, so really good roam from Waesor and Raxi, and in the end, this is a huge lead for the final tribe. I did not expect them to grab such a commanding lead, but that all comes off the back of killing that Orianna. 2 mid lane towers could even have priority on this Cloud Dragon if they want to.
Absolutely. The further we get into this tournament, the stronger the final tribe are looking. They looked a little bit shaky yesterday from time to time, and for the first day they got 1 loss, 1 win, but now they're starting to look stronger and stronger. You feel like they're getting into their full right as a team. Managing now to NYRIKKI managing to secure the dragon. Next one is going to be a mountain, so they have the cloud for the extra movement speed. Down in the bot lane, Cantus now have time to recall. He has to teleport. Still, a Nightmares is going to do the first recall in that situation.
Yeah, getting that top lane tower is going to be proving to be pretty big, because now the map is really open for the rotations, for the Australia lanes, if that's what you want to be doing. You can swap around these matchup, but I think they're pretty happy with Waster going up against Stianbosa in the 1v1, just farming up. He's making his way back towards the top lane. Does have the Haunting guys as well. It's going to be building into the Leandris Torment, which is an item that's really strong in these extended fights. So it, of course, that makes your damage scale up over time as you are fighting. And if it's something that we've been seeing these two guys doing, it's fighting for a hell of a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. The longer the fight lasts, the more damage you deal. Up to 10% more damage after an extended period of time.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
That's correct.
2% times 5. Teleport arriving down bot lane. The fly is not going to hit anything as Tiara misplaced it a little bit, maybe because of that problem he had earlier. The flash is going to avoid the unstoppable onslaught, now turning it around on Tiara instead. Tiara has been CC'd. True Shot Barrage is going to hit its mark, but the Chrono Break is here to keep the team members safe and alive. Going 1 for 0 so far. The Cell still there, landing those bombs. Getting the extra CC off. Axitor moving forward. Shock Blast not going to really do anything as the Black Shield was there to stop Jameru's damage with his Shockwave. And Axitor is going to have to back off. 1 for 0 in the bot lane.
You can see how hard this bottom lane duo is to put pressure on you, but you both got the 2 spell shields, both from the Sivir and the Morgana, as well as the On the Hunt, which gives you so much ability to dodge out on that, and Dincel even had mid lane priority, was able to roam down faster than Yameru. So that's some really impressive plays for the final tribe. They were ahead before that, now they've been getting even more ahead.
Yeah, you gotta remember that it was NYYRIKKI White that started that fight. They wanted to go for that, and they were the ones that lost their support. They are the ones about to lose the bot lane turret as well.
Again.
Still wants to be fighting this. There comes the flash and a good prediction Q. Still a lot of damage on Dincel. Does not have his ultimate. Yes, he does actually, so he's not going to care even. Turning it around yet again, picking up Can Appeal. Dincel has such a short time on that ultimate. Shockwave not going to hit yet again. This Vaser is making Silas look good using the True Shot Barrage now back on Axitor. Up top lane though, Stenbosse is pushing for this turret.
Yeah, Stenbosse is staying top, and I think this means that the final tribe can even look for a dive in the bottom side with that Chrono Shift. They can have so much safety, but yeah, NYYRIKKI is just going to be giving this tower off and even going to be trying to defend this, and with the Mount Dragon it's going to go down so fast. Stenbosse will get a bit of a consolidation price at the top lane, but still it's going to be 5 towers to 1 and a 4,000, more than a 4,000 gold lead before we're 20 minutes in. Really strong early game from the final tribe, and they've been playing, they've been making it so hard for NYYRIKKI to do anything. NYYRIKKI, we know they're a great team, but they just haven't been able to pull off these offensive plays that they want to. Can Appeal, he's on this playmaker in the Lee Sin, and you can see how hard he's been denied over and over and over. Everyone can pretty much mess up this Lee Sin engage.
Yeah, absolutely. He tried to pick the Lee Sin into the Sivir and into the Sejuani, and then came the Morgana, and that was basically the nail in the coffin for this Lee Sin. Has not been paying off in the way that he wanted it to. On the other hand, on the other side of the map, the final, TFT have been doing so well with the bot lane. Kantos and Nightmare have been on point with their combination. So the final tribe are looking very strong. So far in, about 4k gold up, and looking to pull that away even further. And you said it earlier also that they have the stronger late game team composition.
I mean, it's even because you've got Orianna and Ezreal on the other side, so it's definitely, they're definitely no slouches when it comes to late game. I just really love the Sivir. I think she's so strong all around, and when it comes to those like 5 to 6 item late games, he's going to be having so much potential to do a lot of damage, and all the safety from the Black Shield and the Chrono Shift as well. So really like what the final tribe have been cooking up here, and I gotta say that Kantos is impressing me this game as well. He was really good in yesterday's games. I really had him as my MVP, and now he's looking really strong once again. Can't wait to see Kantos versus Chrisland, or Pinoy as you can also call him, the other really big AD carry star in this tournament.
Vaser in this long extended fight you talked about earlier, where the Leanders is so strong, getting some damage off here. Unstoppable Force though is going to catch Dincel before he is able to use his Chrono Break, and now Vaser is in a bad spot. Can they turn this around though? You can see Axitor is on the wrong side of things, but shutdown is a fact. Vaser has gone down as Jameru picks that one up. Can Appeal though turning it around, getting the damage off on Kantos instead, now chasing away as much as he can. In the end though, Can Appeal did everything that he could in that fight, did so well, and picking up 4 kills for 1 only now. TFT losing Vaesor in the fight before the rest of the team could even arrive. I thought it was a bad situation where Azitor couldn't really join them, but in the end it turned out much better than expected.
Yeah, that entire fight just came off the back of NYRIKKI catching Denzel out of position. So Denzel walks down on the Cillian, has Flash, has Chrono Shift available, and still gets hit by every skill shot. He gets hit by the Cyan ulti, the Thresh hook, and the Lee Sin Q. With the Flash still up, gets burst down before he can use the Chrono Shift to save himself, and that's just a fight in a 4 versus 5 situation from the beginning. So Denzel has been playing really well so far, but that was definitely a mistake.
Yeah, absolutely. So now TFT is looking not as strong as earlier, although that was the Mountain Dragon. They already have that one, as NYRIKKI White will be happy to have this to match the Baron pressure for this game.
Yeah, for sure. And I think they're kind of happy with what's been happening in the game so far. Just a 1.5k gold deficit right here. And a lot of that is in the solo lane. So when it comes to the AD carry matchup, you can actually see that the gold is pretty much neck and neck, as it are, with the farm lead about 30 CS up with the Kleptomancy as well. He's been doing really good on this Ezreal, starting to stack up that second tier of the Goddess, about 1/3 of the way done of stacking that towards the Archangel staff. So really got to say that NYRIKKI, they've been able to make the comeback starting to happen with that catch into Denzel and the Mountain Dragon going down after that.
Absolutely. After all of that time that they spent in the mid lane trying to break Jameru, Jameru still in that fight, managed to get Vaesor, he managed to stay alive throughout it. And Denzel was instead the one that got caught out. Still, Denzel is in a fairly good position, with his fully stacked Rod of Ages, with his Luden's Echo. So he's still looking strong. But the final tribe now need to decide what they will do. How are they going to play around this? Vaesor made that one mistake earlier bot lane. I think he simply wanted to try to force Stenbosa away just a little bit too much, and he was completely collapsed on before his team could react.
And with the Warmogs build from Stenbosa now, he's been able to unlock that passive from the Warmogs for the insane health regeneration. So what I said earlier about the extended laning phase, the extended 1 versus 1 is going to be a win for Vaesor. Not so sure if that's true anymore, because Stenbosa is going to be able to take a fight, use all his spell rotations, then back out, get the regeneration from the Warmogs. So I think NYRIKKI, they're not too unhappy with just having Stenbosa and Vaesor in those 1 versus 1 in the bottom lane. Not much is going to be happening. Both of them are so tanky or have the sustain in Silas's case, and then they're just going to be looking to join their teams.
We can see now that Azitor is starting to look really strong on this Ezreal. Stenbosa an attempt go for a little bit of an engage. Here comes the teleport. Rushik Barrage not going to find Nightmares. Azitor still moving forward with the Essence Flux, with the Essence Shift.
Yeah, you can see that might have looked like a weird ultimate from Stenbosa, but that was actually pretty brilliant, because he forced the TP to come in from the final tribe, as well as the on the hunt getting used. So that is definitely a good trade of cooldowns for him with the Unstoppable Onslaught right there. Good play from Stenbosa. He's been just having a solid performance on this Sion.
And Jameru, though, was forced to use his teleport in that fight. So, yes, absolutely, Jameru wanted to go for the fight together with Stenbosa. Still in that position, Kantos was a little bit worried. Nightmares almost went down. So, it could have been a little bit different, the True Shot Barrage, if the True Shot Barrage had hit. There is no Sonya's. 4 Nightmares has gone for the redemption. Baron still up. 25 minutes into the game. The Rift Scuttler is in the hands of the blue side, so NYRIKKI White will have vision over that area.
Yeah, so we're starting to get towards that point in the game where this Baron actually becomes an objective that both of the teams can start to look for. With the Mountain Dragon on each side, I would say that both of these teams have pretty decent Baron killing and Baron tanking capabilities, especially if they can get these top laners up to join them. So the Sivir looking for that Infinity Edge as the next item. Getting that 3-item power spike is going to be really big. And on the other side, Ezreal right now with the Blade of the Ruined King will start to do a lot of damage towards the Baron as well. So this is definitely going to be an important objective to keep your vision on, to keep your wards on, because both the teams are doing quite quickly. And as I said, they've got the Mountain Dragons.
Vaesor going in aggressively yet again in a 1 versus 2 situation now. He steals the roundhouse kick, but is not going to be able to hit more than one with it. Now getting kicked away. He gets some help from Nightmare, so he's going to stick around for this fight. Going to keep chasing down Ken Appeal. Canapil has been able to run away. Now it's Vasor instead, 2 versus 1 with the Ethereal Chains with Nightmare. All helping each other to chase this one in the mid lane. A good ultimate is going to keep Kanos alive. Turn this around. The fight in the bot lane is going to continue. You can see how Stenbos is so tanky, but 3 versus 1, I think it's too much to handle. There is so much CC here, and he is finally going to fall.
That is one tanky Scion. And I watched the replay of what's happened in the mid lane right there with Acitor actually going down. He just landed some key spells onto Kantos and Arcane shifted forward to proc that W. Actually were able to kill Kantos, but then Denzel was there with the ultimate. So Ezreal goes down without using the flash, and he's still dead. Does have the teleport though, so he can definitely join this fight. Would be a 4 versus 5 though, since Stenbos is dead, but this could be a game deciding fight if it's going to be starting out here.
Canapil is going to try to steal this, so instead turning this around. A huge shockwave though is going to put everyone in the red. Nightmare has gone down as Acitor is there to finish him out. The True Shot Barrage also going to deal so much AoE damage. A good hook will stop Vasor in his tracks, and now it is NYYRIKKI White instead coming in with the teleport for Stenbos, who are putting the pressure on this Baron. Raxi is looking to try to steal it, but he does not have the vision to do it. He will be spotted also by this lantern. I'm not sure if he can do it, and no, he is not even going to attempt it, actually. I think he kind of wanted to,
yeah,
but
he did.
Yeah, the nerves weren't quite with him. He's just going to hit the wall and run back. Baron going over to NYYRIKKI White.
Yeah, he just queued straight into the wall, but luckily for him, not in the correct position, so just did not even go through it. And in that earlier fight, you've got to say that that's probably why they call him the finish faker. 4-man shockwave landing there for Yamaru, really deciding that fight. He's not that big on this Orianna, but if you land those 4-man RW combos for all of that damage, that's going to be deciding the team fights. And for the first time in a long while, NYYRIKKI Esports has a gold lead over the final tribe.
Exactly, and here we see what we talked about earlier. These players that can be maybe mechanically skilled. We'll talk about that later as the fight has erupted. Tiara being the main focus, hits a good death sentence. Still wants to back off on this. There is no focus on the Silver, and Kantos is just going ham on this while the rest of the team are chasing down Raxi, and Kantos is down on the side. Now it's been caught out in a bad position, and it's going to have to run away from this. Does not have the flash needed. It's about to be killed in this situation. Although, wow, a huge turnaround right here as Kantos somehow survives through all of that with only a sliver of HP left.
And that is Sever, ladies and gentlemen, just sits in the backline, puts out the damage throughout the entire fight, shreds through the tanks, shreds through the squishies, and there's always the Chrono Shift there for Denzel, there's always the Black Shield there from Nightmares, and even though you gotta say that's some great positioning for Kantos being able to put out all that damage, you also have to question NYYRIKKI if they weren't able to use their spells in a more intelligent way to get onto Kantos, because this is going to be the final tribe looking to end the game.
10 seconds for Canapil. The rest of the team are still having quite long respawn timers. An attempt with the box is going to take too much damage to handle it, and Tiara goes down. Now the Nexus being focused, and there's not enough that one man can do in this situation, and that is the game. The final tribe looked a little bit shaky for a while, but turned it around and took game number 1.
Love me some Sivir. This hard carry is just putting on a show right now. Both Kantos piloting the champion really well, and is of course very strong. On top of that, also really got to say that they've been really hitting some good points with Denzel here in the mid lane. Putting him on the Stillion is working out so well. His style really fits the champion, and the way the entire team plays around that Chrono Shift means that they were able to take this game quite quickly, actually, in just about 30 minutes.
Absolutely. Denzel, being that smart player with his Cillian, always seems to be in the right spot when things are happening. As soon as anyone gets caught, you think Denzel is going to be somewhere else. Nope, he was right there. He presses the R button. Like, that is his superpower, pressing the R button at the exact right time, no matter which champion he picks. And I was going to say, like, I love to see it. I want to see some more of Denzel, and I think that a lot of teams will have to rethink how they're going to ban against this, because the rest of the team have so much trust in his abilities, just playing around it.
Yeah, you did see the Malzahar ban coming out, but the Stillion was still left open, and with this sort of hyper carry that you've got going in the bottom lane, that's just what's going to happen. Also got a question, Canapil here went to the Lee Sin when his Ivan was getting banned out, and went for some really questionable plays trying to gank that bottom side with the Sivir and the Morgana, and I think this is a lane that you can gank if you're really good at it with the Thresh. The spells work out like really well. But up against the Black Shield, up against the Spell Shield, is going to be having such a rough time, and you can see him several times really messing up those bottom lane ganks. This Silver Morgana lane, love it.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like the final nail in the coffin was that his attempt down bot lane, trying to flash in, trying to flash kick at Nightmares, and Nightmare simply just presses the E. He can't really do anything. He just turns golden and with the ultimate up, and Kenapils completely gets outplayed simply by pressing 2 buttons. That's just how bad Lee Sin is in that matchup. So this is something they have to worry a little bit about and rethink coming into the next draft. Like, how are they going to work around Kenapil if he gets countered like this again?
Yeah, for sure, need to have some extra aces in the what's it
In the
called in English?
sleeve?
Aces
Like,
in the sleeve. That's how you say it in Swedish, at least. Yeah, you need to have some extra backup plans. Of course, I do believe that they have it though, and they've been
absolutely.
doing so well so far in the tournament. So if they got some real curveballs to throw, maybe they're not wanting to show them right now in game number 1. Could throw them out in game number 2, though. I think we're about to see.
Yeah, definitely. We are going now for a quick break. We will be back with game 2 soon, so do not go anywhere. We will be right back.